Ugh. Good morning, man. I'm tired as hell. Ugh. Tired, bro. I was in deep sleep. I wake up later on the weekends. That's when I get all my good sleep, on the weekends. We're gonna work out today though. We ran yesterday. We're gonna work out today. But let me tell you something. The reason why some men struggle to compete, because they got to be taught that from an early age by their father, man. See, your father will teach you how to compete, man, at an early age. A lot of guys didn't have a father in their household, man. So they're not taught to compete. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes been raised by their moms and shit. You know? Moms, they don't really teach you how to compete for the most part. Yeah, you got a few females that will support their sons and stuff and teach them how to compete. But for the majority of women, they won't teach you how to compete. Women are into themselves, man. A lot of women make bad parents, period. The father is what makes the best parent, man. I remember when I was younger, my father used to wake me up in the morning to play baseball. Basic training. You feel what I'm saying? That's a form of competing right there. Waking up earlier, doing more than the average player. A lot of guys got to be. A lot of guys got to be taught that from an early age. Now, I was taught from an early age, but my father, he didn't stick with me. He left when I was 10, but then I found martial arts at the age of 15. Started doing capoeira around the age of, I can't even talk right now, I just woke up. At the age of 15, I started doing that. It was competitive in that. Capoeira was competitive within itself. You know what I'm saying? Because you had to play capoeira. You had to get in the circle and don't get caught with nothing. By better players too. Dudes who were above you. You had to get in there and survive.
Wait.
So that's why men struggle to compete. You see a man that's complaining and not really doing nothing about his situation, Most likely he was raised by a single mother. Okay, that's what women do, really. You know, I'm not saying all women are like this. You know, don't quote me on that. But I'm saying there's a lot of women out there who raise their sons to not compete. My mother was the same way. She was more self-centered. It was all about her, man. It wasn't about us. It was about how she felt about things and how she wanted to run things. She didn't do things in the best interest of us. She did things in the best interest of her. You know. That's why me and my mother never got along, man. Because we were two different people. I wanted to get out there and compete and do things with my life. She wanted to stay at home, live on welfare, you know, do nothing, you know. But women can get away with that shit, bro. You know, women can get away with that shit. Men cannot. You feel what I'm saying? Men can't get away with doing nothing their whole entire lives. Men gotta be builders. But you gotta be taught that from an early age, man. An early age. Your mother and your father gotta be present in your life. Both your mother and your father. Without your father in the household, bro, you know, you're just gonna be a shadow of a man without your father in your house. And a good, strong father too, not just any old father, but a father that's gonna teach you how to compete in this highly competitive world. And this world is highly competitive. But men are out there competing and they're winning, you know. Just look around you. There's dudes out here that compete. And when they compete, in the end, they win. Either you going to study in college for like years at a time, or you chasing a music dream or a Hollywood dream or whatever. That's still a form of competing, you know. When you're in monk mode, you feel me? When you're in monk mode and you're going after the bag, that's competing. You don't really have a social life. You're not really involved with females or nothing like that. You know, that's competing. And some guys wasn't taught that from an early age, man, and they struggle to compete because father, like I said, the father wasn't there. The father wasn't there to be on top of your schoolwork. Because I know my father wasn't there to help me with my schooling. I mean, he was there when I was young, but when my father was around, I was getting G's and E's, good and excellent in school. My father left, I started getting bad grades. You know what I'm saying? I made it to high school, you know, and once I got into Capoeira, I started getting better grades again. Cause I barely made it to to high school. I barely passed. I did just enough work to pass to get to high school, you know, because I started doing Capoeira and my teacher was concerned about my grades. That's when I started like picking up my grades a little bit. I started doing homework and shit. You know, started doing homework. You know, got to high school, Started doing more of my homework. Didn't do a whole lot of homework, but I did just enough to pass. Passing grade. You know, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I passed high school, but it was tough. You know, I had to fucking like, I really had to study, and it was a struggle doing that, man. You know, a lot of my classes I got okay. Of course, I got an A in PE. I was totally yoked in you know in high school. You know, in English. In English, I got a B because, you know, I was on top of my English really hard. In math, I got satisfactory, man. You know, that was it. Or what am I saying? That's for what am I saying? I mean C. For math, I got C's and shit. I was just average in math. I hated math, but I did just enough to pass. So I graduated high school, and I didn't do nothing after that. I kind of just wandered off and started doing my own thing. You know, but the discipline is what a lot of guys lack. Long-term discipline. You feel what I'm saying? And Capoeira taught me that, man. You be on the road for something that you really want in life, and you stick with it until you win. I stuck with Capoeira for 12 years of my life. Trained, and I still train to this day. So basically, I've been training Capoeira for how many years? Since I was 15. I'm 45 now. You see what I'm saying? I'm still doing the Jenga when I'm training. I'm still doing circular kicks. I'm still training. I'm not as fast as I used to be in limber and agile, but I can still kick some ass. You know what I'm saying? But because of martial arts training, I got that discipline like that. You see, a lot of guys don't have the martial arts training. They never got into it. I was into martial arts when I was younger, watching Bruce Lee all the time, mimicking his moves from Enter the Dragon and shit. I used to think I was the black Bruce Lee, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I had this, for real, I had this mindset of I thought I was the black Bruce Lee, bro. You know, just throwing kicks and shit. I wasn't even taking no classes, nothing. I was just throwing kicks. I thought I knew Kung Fu. I thought I was Bruce Leroy or something from the Last Dragon. You know what I'm saying? And I used to always sing that song. You are the last dragon. You possess the power of the globe. I used to always think that. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? But my thing is, women. I got distracted by women when I was younger. If I would have had an OG that tapped me on my shoulder and said, hey, man, you need to get out of that relationship that you're in right now, bro. It ain't nothing but lust, bro. She don't really love you like that. You know, you don't really love her like that. It's just lust. And he was right. Well, where I get that from? I saw one of those palm reader guys, and he was saying that the relationship that I was in was nothing but lust. And it was, because we didn't have no children or nothing like that. You know, when you love somebody, you have children with them, man. You know what I'm saying? And I spent a whole lot of years wasted time, man. Spent a whole lot of years wasting time when I should have been on my grind. And competing Competing means that you're out there, you're enrolling in school, you're getting a degree, long-term goals, man. You're chasing Hollywood dreams, or you're competing in sports as a young man, against all odds. You're chasing Hollywood, being a comedian. You're chasing all of that shit, bro. You're going after your dreams, and you're competing against the other people. You're competing against, men in general. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of men struggle to compete because their mother and their father did a poor job teaching their sons how to compete in this world. It has to start from a young age. Thank goodness that I got martial arts training and shit like that. Capoeira and boxing too. I did boxing for like years. I did boxing for 5 years. I did boxing for 5 years. You guys are spoiled. Talking to these seagulls. Like me chasing after the jackpot, that's called competing. Because once I get it, I'm going to be forced to be reckoned with just for a little bit. And I still got to fucking like invest the money and shit like that. If I do hit another jackpot, it won't be the end all be all. People who have, like let's say I win a couple of million. Okay, well I got to put that money to work. That means I still got to win another jackpot after that. That's not going to be the end all be all. You feel what I'm saying? And then, working out, keeping your body in shape, that's a form of competing right there. That's why I slowed down on the alcohol drinking, man, because I'm like, I need to lose some weight, some fat, I'm trying to lean up so I could be one of the 20% of men that females deal with. Because out here, man, I don't see nobody in shape. Everybody into making money out here. But I don't see no jack dudes coming into Starbucks, man. Nobody's jacked around here. I'm the only one that look like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only one that's in shape out here, bro. I don't see anybody that I could look up to, man, being in shape. Most of these guys, they just skinny and, there's one jack dude that comes in, some big white guy, man. Man, that motherfucker, he come in here sometime, that's a big dude, bro. In Starbucks. Big jack white guy, man. You know what I'm saying? But he's one of only the few, man. Matter of fact, he's taller and bigger than me. I'm pretty sure he got no problem getting women at all. You know what I'm saying? He like a 7 in looks. Man. But my thing is, your parents, bro. Your father. How disciplined was your father? How strict was your father on you when you was young? You feel what I'm saying? How strict was your father? Was your father getting you up every morning, preparing you for life, preparing you for the future? You feel what I'm saying? Did your father teach you the value of hard work and dedication, being dedicated to something. Like me, I'm dedicated to the jackpot chase. Okay, I'm dedicated. Just like a lot of winners, they were dedicated to chasing that jackpot. 2 years went by, oh, hit 3.44 million. You know, another 3 years went by, oh, they hit 10 million. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's called long-term goals, long-term dedication to whatever you're trying to chase in life. You got to learn it from an early age, man, because you're going to think it's going to be a waste of time when you don't see no results, right? You've been chasing something, you ain't seen no results. Some motherfuckers just turn around and give up. But not me, man. Remember, I told you my confidence comes from like martial arts, man. A lot of cats just ain't been trained since they were little. It has to start when you're little. Your parents got to be on your ass about your grades, about you enrolling in basketball, football, soccer, being at every single soccer game, being at every single baseball game, being at every single basketball game, just rooting you on and teaching you how to fucking keep going, even though you're not seeing any money. Michael Jordan played a lot of free basketball before he saw some money, man. You feel what I'm saying? Michael Jordan, I'm gonna say it again, he played a lot of free basketball throughout high school, college. And finally he got drafted. But it took years. He didn't come up just like that and be Michael Jordan overnight. It took him years. And he stuck with basketball. He committed himself until he was no longer able to play anymore. Until his physical gave away. When he got over 40, he was like, oh, can't keep up with them youngins no more. Them 19, 20-year-olds. Oh. LeBron, he about to fucking retire himself, bro. He's like pushing 40 already. You know what I'm saying? But they kept playing in the sport. They kept going because they had good fathers, bro. Michael Jordan had a good father, bro, that stuck by him while he was training. You know what I'm saying? Like men are hard on their sons, bro, for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They're hard on their sons for a reason. They hard on their sons because the world is a place where they don't give a fuck about men. Okay? The world is a place where they don't give a fuck about men. They don't care about your feelings and what you're going through. They want to see results. This world, they want to see results. They don't care what your potential was all about. Okay? They don't care if you got potential. They don't care. They want you to deliver. What time is it? They want to see results. Okay? I'm about to end this live soon, man. Because I get up in here and charge this phone. And then we got to work out later on. They want to see results. They don't want to see you crying and complaining. That's not going to do anything. Crying and complaining only works for women. I keep saying this time and time again. It only works for women and children. That's it. They're the only ones who can get away with crying and complaining. A grown-ass man can't get away with it, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I wonder if I'm going to see my girl, the Indian girl that be stopping and talking to me. I might see her today. She's like a bright, man, she's like a breath of fresh air, bro. I just like having conversations with her, man. You feel me? But yeah, so I mean, I'm treating this like I treat anything else. Like I'm treating this shit like I treat capoeira. You feel me what I'm saying? Just like anything else. I'm sticking with it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm sticking with it until I crack. You feel what I'm saying? You know, until I win. I stuck with copper weather for 12 years of my life, and I got a lot of results. People walking up to me, oh, you're so good at that. You're so good. Wow, I like the flips and the kicks. Them high kicks and flips. Man, you're so good at that. I just had a lady walk up to me and say that just now, like a couple of weeks ago. You know, I had a lady say that to me before, man. Oh, you're so good at that. You're so good. Well, I've been training since I was 15 years old. So that says something about my personality, is that I can stick with something for a very long time and come out on top. You feel what I'm saying? That's dedication right there, man. I've been training since I was 15. We're about to train some copper weather today. I'm a 45-year-old man still doing copper weather, bro. Just a lot slower. Don't get me wrong, I'm still light, I'm still fast. I can still kick fast, bro. Don't get it twisted. I can speed it up if I want to, but not for very long like I used to. When I was younger, I used to be lightning fast. My kicks used to be explosive. You feel me? You know, but now that I gotten older and gotten heavier too, you know, kicks ain't like what they used to, but I can still pack a punch though. They still strong. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, I could break something. I can still break something if I kick you. Because I've been kicking metal poles and stuff. You know? You gotta kick something, bro, if you want to be able to break a rib or put the opponent or the attacker out of commission. You feel what I'm saying? You know, you gotta train your kicks on something. You can't just kick the air. That's one thing I was taught when I was younger, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't kick the air. You gotta kick something. Either a wall or a metal pole or something, you know, like a stop sign, or you gotta kick something. So that way when I kick a motherfucker, I'm breaking something. You feel what I'm saying? But that's my mentality though, man. I'm competing because I've been taught to compete. And it's fun, you know. It's fun to compete against other men. I get a, you know, after, you know, when I used to do copper weather and I used to dominate the game, I used to get a rush out of that. When I used to hear the crowd go, ooh, he showed you a lot of shit. That type of ooh, you know, like, you know, I used to get a rush out of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Playing in front of people with my shirt off, 6-pack abs, a bunch of women in the audience, you know what I'm saying? I used to get a rush out of that shit, bro. Right now, I'm working on getting my 6-pack back, and it's not easy being at 45, man. Got to cut down on the drinking. I want my 6-pack to come back. You get a 6-pack, you're competing. That's called competing too. You didn't know that? Shit, because not too many motherfuckers got a 6-pack, bro. You be the only one who got that? Oh man, you get an edge over other men, bro. It's called defeating and besting other men. I used to have to do that in copper weather, bro. Like, motherfuckers be trying to tag me for real and shit. So I had to get in there and be fast and be swift and use my knowledge and my skill against other men that didn't like me in the group. I didn't like their ass either. Motherfuckers used to tag me, pow, with the hammer kick, with the roundhouse kick. And I used to have to go up, learn how to get up under that fucking kick, man, because the kick, you know, everybody did it, and I was not that good at it, but I could do it, but I wasn't that good at it. So I learned how to go up under the kick and catch their foot, you know what I'm saying? Or when motherfucker used to be on one foot, I used to sweep the other one. Boom, they fall to their butt. And I used to get a rush out of that to sweep another man, you know, down to the ground on his butt. Oh man, I used to feel, it used to feel good, bruh. It was like eating candy, bruh. It was sweet. to sweep a motherfucker off his feet. You feel what I'm saying? Because in Capoeira, there's a lot of sweeps and stuff. You need to sweep him, bop, get up. But I had an edge over him because I trained the hardest and I was the fastest. You know what I'm saying? And I trained the longest. I used to get motherfuckers who was on my level and down. Motherfuckers above me, nah, I ain't trying to sweep them, bro. They don't get mad and kick your ass. Like some of them Brazilians that came over here, bro. Them motherfuckers kicked to destroy because their life is different in Brazil. You know what I'm saying? They really competing out there, man. Like there was this mestre, his name was Mestre Jamola. He used to come over and teach workshops, you know, over here and in San Francisco, back when I was really doing capoeira. And he was the guy that could hit. I was talking to his student while I was in Brazil. He was like, think about Mestre Jamola. He know how to hit. He done broke so many bones, and I'm sitting there like, boom, he breaking people's bones, man. He like, yeah, he breaks bones when he kicks, cause he knows how to fucking hit. The side kick, benzão, that's what they call it, right? Benzão is a side kick. Benzão in Portuguese means blessing. That means I'm gonna give you a blessing, like Bruce Lee side kick. You feel me? You know, benzão means blessing in Portuguese. You feel what I'm saying? So I was the one that was not breaking bones, but I didn't know I never knew how to hit, man, like that, man, because I didn't train to hit like that. But now that I gotten older, I started realizing that, hey, in martial arts, you have to kick to destroy, bro. You can't just kick somebody and kicks just bounce off of them. You have to kick to destroy. So you have to spend your time kicking things, preparing, prepping. Like today is side kick and front kick today, man. And squats. We doing squats, front kick, side kick training, some circular kicks too, man. But I want to focus on my straight kicks because I want to be able to kick to destroy other men. That's what it's about, destroying other men. That's what competing is about. You know, I see another man that's bigger than me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to give him my whole entire foot. I'm gonna have to fucking kick to destroy his ass. You know what I'm saying? Going straight for the rib cage so I could break some ribs. I know where the rib cage is, right here, right up under your chest. I go right there, bah! You fall down to the ground. Oh, can't breathe. Yeah, you out of commission. I can't just kick you and then you still standing, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know. I need you to go down. So that's the form of competing right there, man. Preparing yourself, prepping mentally. You know what I'm saying? There will be no sex. When you're going after a goal, there'll be no sex, there'll be no dating. There'll be nothing but pure concentration. You feel what I'm saying? There'll be no crying, no sniffling from the nose. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not gonna work. It's not gonna help. You can do it. If you want to cry, go ahead and do it. But you got to get back to work though. After you get through crying, you got to go back. You got to continue on though. Cause that's what a man is about, man. And if you ain't got your father in your life, he ain't gonna you won't be able to learn none of that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers, they miss fathers coming up. You know, it's hard to compete with the Chad crew, bro. That's why I chased the bag. What's up with it, Captain Morgan? I'm about to call you Captain Morgan again. Captain Commander, what's up with it? Yeah, the only thing that can compete with Chad and Tyrone is the bag. Get money. That's the only way that can compete with them niggas, man. Them motherfuckers, I swear, Chad and Tyrone is ruthless online, bro. They taking all the pussy from themselves, man. You know, and then the only way you compete is get the money, get the bag. You chase the bag until you get it. There's no crying, no pussyfooting around when you chasing the bag. Let me go get my my energy drink, man, cause I got enough money. I got enough money to get an energy drink. Shit. Yeah, we got enough money. We got more than enough. Because I'm about to work out like a beast right now. I'm gonna go up to Starbucks and charge this phone though. You guys have a good day, man. I gotta end this live. You guys have a good day. I'll see y'all in an hour, man, or two. You know. I'll see y'all in an hour or two, man, because I gotta work out. I don't know. I might have alcohol tonight. I might not. Shit. I might take another night off. You guys have a good night. Oh, good day. Sorry. I'll be back on later. Shit, man. I'm thinking about night. I just woke up like about an hour ago, and I still haven't woken up yet. Got my words everywhere. God damn it. You guys have a good day. I'll be back on to make a before workout video. You know how I do it. You guys have a good day. I'm out.